let people. Oh, well, that's great. I don't feel like I have a similar one, but I'm sure if I did it, the answer would be the same.
Oh, that's thought too.
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
Hi, Caroline.
Oh, Caroline, nice to see you.
Hello,
Nice to see you.
and you both.
We have at least three people from the UK. That feels really good.
Does it feel better than people from the US? What are you saying?
No, no, I just like seeing people come in from far away, and
Oh,
I know and I know Rick's in Canada, so we officially have an international. I feel like if we have three countries, it's an international group.
agreed.
There's Michaela. Great. Well, I'll just start rambling a little bit as people pop in, and I think the first thing is I'm just so excited to see everybody. So hi, so nice to have you here. And Stephanie and I just made up this group a couple of months ago. We've been talking about it for a while, but I wanted to just share just for a minute or so, like what this was about for me. And the thing is, I just love gathering with people in different forums, and we all are doing something in the world that's similar. Like we've all been touched by something that really has for me enlivened my life and given me a lot of joy and hope. And I know everyone's had some kind of experience in that realm. And at the same time, we all have some desire and even a little bit of experience of having shared something with someone, whether it's formally in a work setting or just talking to a family member or a friend. And we see the beautiful. I mean, the word impact feels a little dry to me, but that's the best I have right now. But we see the beautiful impact, the way people are touched by something that has touched us, and we see things that they see that we don't even see. So it's really beautiful just to be in this community, and that's really our intention. Stephanie and my intention is to create a community, something that will be ongoing, something that we can gather, a place you can drop in when you want or come every month. And we also feel really strongly that community, thinking of this as a community first, is powerful, because we've all been, we've had trainings, we've had coaches, we've had programs, we had resources, and they're all just, I'm just amazed at how much is available to us, and at the same time, sometimes when those programs or things are over, we can feel a little kind of like sometimes a little lonely in this journey, or just wanting more, craving more connection and community. So that's really where our hearts are coming from in this. And so we hope that this community will just be, a great addition to everything else that's going on. And the other thing I want to say is we also have a really strong conviction in this, almost to the point where I think I can speak for Stephanie too. It's almost like a promise we want to make you, is that it really is possible for everyone, no matter what you're doing, what we're doing, whether you're working full time, you're working part time, you're not working at all, but you're sharing from your understanding and your being, that experience that we have in sharing can be fulfilling, it can be rewarding, it can really be whatever you want it to be. Because I have faith in what we call in this realm, this understanding, universal divine mind, that if it gives us an impulse for something, it's also going to give us the resources to do it. And I just think that the two go together. And the part that gets tricky for me, and I'm sure it gets tricky for everyone at some point in your journey, is when we start thinking about how is it going? Is it matching up to our vision? Is it not matching up? Is it going at a certain speed? And that's all so like normal, human. I think I'm always going to probably have that. And at the same time, I have many moments where I just feel totally fulfilled, on track, whatever you want to call it. So I guess what I'm saying is that, and some of you may already be experiencing that, and you bring that to the group too. Like everyone brings wherever they're at, wherever they're going to this group, and we all kind of do this together. It's kind of someone used the term in another group, kind of like a love soup, and I really like that term. To be together in that, and we can, make this whatever we want. So I'm just really, really happy to see so many people show up, and to be here, and to bring your hearts, and we're gonna create this together, whatever this is. But that's a little where I'm coming from, and I want to just turn this over to my amazing partner in this endeavor, Stephanie.
Thank you, Tom. This was not planned, okay? It's been emerging. So Tom and I said we've been talking about this for a couple months, and that's true, but we haven't been talking about this. There was something that wanted to come through each of us. Both of us, I will speak for myself because Tom just shared what's in his heart. I have found myself more and more over the past couple of years with a huge heart for the Three Principles community, and in particular, those who are called in some way, shape, or form to share what they've seen. Sometimes those people call themselves coaches, and many times they don't. But in every case, I just see this beautiful desire to just help people experience the gift that they've found inside of this thing called the Three Principles. And a few months back, I was a part of a group project that was called Love in Action. And it was all about just sharing simple examples, simple things that we can do, simple invitations to love in action. And so it seemed very natural that that came together with sharing the principles. Because to me, that's really what this is. Whatever it is you've seen, and you don't even have to use the words mind, consciousness, and thought. Whatever it is that you've seen that's changed your life, that's real for you, is, when you share it, that is love in action. And you share it by your very presence. It's not the words that you say. It's not being a coach or teaching something, although it might take those forms. It's just you living through the understanding that you've seen and sharing it with people in your very presence. And recently I had heard something that Sydney Banks said about the Three Principles, and I don't know the source of it. It came to me through Michael Neal, but it was one of Sid's students that heard him say this. And what he said was that the Three Principles are really a metaphor for love. And I think that's what it is that we're sharing in its truest form. And if you're one of those people who is less comfortable with the word love, you can fill in truth, peace, understanding. That's what we're talking about, not personal love, but what we are. The truth of love that is us, the beingness, the allness of what we really are. That's what the Three Principles is pointing to, and that's what I think ultimately it is that we want to share. And the good news about it is that it's so simple. Just being you, knowing yourself in that space is inevitably sharing what you've seen. And that's why we can make this audacious promise that there is a way. It's not so audacious at all. It's really natural. So that's the invitation here. there's an invitation for you to just begin to open to that and to celebrate that with us together and explore that, like what that means for you personally, because it's going to look different for each one of us. And that's exactly as it should be.
Nice. Yeah. Well, thank you. That was so beautiful. So we thought we'd love to hear from everyone. Just introduce yourself. I know some of us know each other from different groups, but just to take a few minutes to introduce yourself, and then we have a question. Steph, do you have a question on your mind you'd like to hear from people on?
Yeah, there is actually. I want to test this one out. So I'm going to give you an option. This is multiple choice. Okay, so you can pick whichever feels good for you. So you can just share what it is that brought you here today. And or you can share your answer to this question. If you were a singer, any singer, and it doesn't have to be a particular person, but it could be a way of singing, who would you want to be? And let me speak to what's behind this question, because it may help you to approach it a little differently. Like, this is not just a random question. The theme inside our Wildspire community that we'll be exploring over the next month is called The Voice of Your Heart's Desire. And there's something so beautiful about how love, God, mind, spirit, source moves through us that is not us and totally uses us, like plays us like the beautiful divine human instrument that we are. And it's got a different sound. That love through you is going to sound like you, like Caroline flavored God and Lee flavored God and Rick flavored God, you know, like what is that sound that wants to move through you? So that's what I'm really asking in a kind of fun, pretty metaphor. So I'll repeat the two questions again, but I'm going to answer it first myself, just to set a tone. I already told you kind of why I'm here, why we're doing this. So if I was a singer, I'd be the kind of singer who is not concerned with sounding perfect. The kind of singer who is so, like their voice is so alive that they might even be screaming, that they're not afraid, they don't hold themselves back by needing to stay in key, right? Like they're just, and someone who comes to mind for me is Brandi Carlile. I don't know if you've ever heard the way she sings, but it's like she has these songs. There's a song called The Story by Brandi Carlile, and I love it. And it's like she's screaming in parts of it, but it's not, it's beautiful. It's so alive. Like that's the kind of singer I would be. That's what I dream of. Someone who just sings with their whole being, no matter what it sounds like. So that's the question that I'm going to open up for you. You know, what is it that brought you here? And or if you were a singer, what singer would you be? How would you be singing? I think we have let's see if we have a small enough group. Do we want to go? Like, what do you think, Tom? Shall we raise hands digitally, or you just want to see people?
Sure. Let's raise hands for the beginning, and then
Okay.
see how.
Well, you can go down to your reactions button, and you should see raise hand from there, and that'll make it easy for us to see you. I see Michaela.
How do you do?
Yeah.
Nice to be here. I'm going to do both because I'm here, well, because I know Stephanie. I've spoken with her. And Claire had quite a while ago sent me a link to your inner circle. I can't remember what it's called. I haven't tried it out yet, but so, and I'm in the Love in Action group when you first started that out. And I'm curious, and the whole idea about fun and play, that really appeals to me. That's how I want it to be. I have a really hard time sticking with things that are drudgery, and I know that's how I'm thinking about them. And I have seen things that I thought were drudgery become not so much drudgery. So that's why I'm here. And as soon as you said, what is the, what comes to mind in the way of singer is the elephant on Sing. I think her name is Mina. And when she owned her power at the end of that show and stomped across that freaking stage and broke it all up and just like, yeah, her, that. Or some kind of jazzy scat. Is it called scat? I used to do it in the car with my kids when they were little. I would just start, I'll call it scatting. And then they would scat back to me. So just fun pre-play.
Can you do like a little, like 2-second version of a scat? Oh, I so love that, Michaela. Thank you.
Oh,
Oh, shall we hear from Lee next?
yeah. Hey, Lee.
Hi, I found my way here by way of Tad Hargrave last fall and started following Stephanie's newsletters and just kind of reading her writings and stuff. And I also became connected with the idea of the 3 principles last fall by reading the book Just a Thought, and then hearing the author speak. And it stayed with me. And I just wanted to I just kind of want to explore it more, because as you can see, I'm an artist, and I've been thinking a lot about how art is taking the formless and giving it form, and trying not to affect it too much or dilute it with too much external influence. And as you can see, I'm struggling with the language around it. And so I just kind of want to be in a space where I can talk more about these ideas that are still very vague in my head. And as far as singing goes, I know I'm a woman and I don't have that kind of voice, but if I could sing in any way, I would love to sing like Krishna Das because of the deep resonance. And I heard him live once. I listened to his stuff a lot. And every time I do, I just feel altered in some way. And I think it's so powerful and beautiful the way he can do that. But yet it's also very unself-conscious. So, but I do love when she brought the house down and sang. That was awesome too. So.
That's really great. And as you said, and that you've seen, that creating art is bringing the formless into form. That's really, that alone is just really, really powerful to me. So thank you, Lee. Welcome. And then we have Sharon. Hey, Sharon.
Hello. Yeah, I'm here because whatever Tom does, I come along and like to give a little bit of support and to have a little look at what's going on. So that's my curiosity, just to see what's happening. So when Tom spoke about connection and community, that really, I felt a warming in my soul, shall we say, because I live a very, very isolated life, and connection and community would be, a nice thing to be a part of. So, yeah, sometimes I may show up, sometimes I may not. I'm happy to be open and explore with everybody else what's going to be happening. And if I were a singer, I haven't really got one to that because I know I'm always out of tune and always would be, but I wouldn't worry about that, is the good thing. But yeah, just here to go with the flow.
Mm. Yeah, beautiful. Well, nice to be here with you, and we will all flow together. And then I see Lucy. Hi, Lucy.
Hi there. I'm very much a beginner in the understanding of the three principles. I think I came across it a few months ago, even though I was in the Play Circle community before, I think, but I didn't really connect the dots yet. And I come here also through I think an interview that I saw with Stefan by Ted Hargrave as well. And I'm now reading Just the Thoughts, so it's nice that to hear from Lee as well. And I'm very much now noticing that my head is trying to make sense of it all and tries to grasp it and understand. And I'm here to just maybe experience it more or understand it more, less on a rational level. So yeah, I think usually I can't on Mondays. So I'm happy to be here today and see how it goes over in the next month. And the first singer that came to mind when you said if you were a singer, and then I heard Nina Simone. I'm like, oh, okay. But I love her, and she's not concerned with pretty, but she has this deep magical sound. She's an awesome pianist as well, which will be challenging. But yeah, she's just very pure and raw and not pretty. Yeah.
Beautiful, Lucy. And I want to say here too, and I think I put this out in the invitation because I have an audience of people, some of whom are familiar with the three principles, many of whom have probably only heard about it through me, maybe not even by that name, because it's been, you can share what you've seen without ever saying those words, the three principles or mind, consciousness, and thought. But it's not only for that. That's what Tom and I talked about this, like this group, this gathering, this invitation is for anyone with something in their heart that they'd like to share, something that's spoken to them, something that's touched and changed their life. So it's very relevant. So cool. And I see the hand of Caroline. Hi, welcome.
Thank you. I was at the UK 3Ps conference last week, first time I'd been there, 3 days of yumminess. And it's deepened my understanding, it's deepened my desire to be around the conversation. And I'm also aware that I coach with clients, I'm sharing it more without naming it, but sharing ideas, if you like, sharing themes. And I'm kind of blown away how people respond with seeing things differently. And I'm kind of like, I don't, how come they do? And I'm just like, yeah, there's something about so one-to-one, that's easier, but sharing it wider. And actually, you just said something, Stephanie, it could be about sharing from the heart. I have an audition, 3-minute audition for a TEDx talk in my town on the 21st. I only heard about this 2 days ago. As I say it, I'm kind of realizing the nervousness, and I'm wanting to share something around this. I haven't quite got my big idea. You've got to have a big idea, but it's something about to bust the comfort zone and the hero's journey myth. And it will be coming into something about the 3 Ps. I haven't quite quite got what that is and how to put that into 3 minutes for an audition. The singer, two things happened when you said that about a singer. Who would you be as a singer, Stephanie? The first was the giggle inside me because I'm me and singing and so out of tune. So the idea was completely comical. The second is straight away I got an image of and the word harmony, people singing in harmony, which is interesting because I got 3 people. And then I thought, oh, so who am I? And I suppose that is that desire to share or to be maybe to be part of something. I'm not sure what that exactly, what that word is, what that exactly what it is, but it is that. Yeah, I was going to say maybe I don't want to sing on my own, but actually with a TED Talk, you have to be on your own. So that's interesting, to be out on stage on your own. But harmony for me is a depth, that there's like a depth on the soul, it's resonance, it's very, oh, I don't have the words. It's really beautiful, kind of universal, big, deep, beautiful. Yeah.
That's gorgeous, Caroline. Shall we welcome Rick? Hi, Rick.
Mute. Yeah. Hey, good morning, good afternoon. That's exciting, Carolyn. I just wanted to just say that. It's like, wow. Yep, I'm Rick Rupenthal. I live in on a large island, on the west coast of Canada, Vancouver Island, just a stone throws away from Salt Spring, the hub center. Which is funny because I lived on the island the same time Sid Banks did and never knew the guy. That's like, what? You never, it's such a small island too. But anyways, I love anything that has to do with this. And I appreciate Tom's personal invite to be here. And anytime I have an opportunity to support somebody or support a group or just show up and just see all the other cool stuff that other people are doing, I just get tickled pink, goosebumps, whatever you want to call it, inspired. And when you first put the challenge out there, I thought you were going to ask for your theme song. it's like and which mine is, as part of my sharing, is I can't help but fall in love with people, with everything that just keeps going on, right? And I had this wonderful experience getting my insurance papers, and the space of falling in love with the person behind the counter, and watch the spark happen in front of her as she started to explain to me that her dream was to open up an ice cream store when she retired, and just watch her, brighten up and share and then thank me for making her day. It was sort of like, to me, that's the 3 principles, right? That's it. That's it. So my singer, and I have so many that I admire, but one that keeps coming up all the time is Freddie Mercury. Like I love the edginess. I love the way he was always out there, fearless, breaking rules, doing all the things that normal people, right? Like breaking normalcy. And he broke a lot of grounds and opened up a lot of doors for other people to break the mold. And so that's my story. Thanks.
Mm. That's gorgeous, Rick. And I want to speak to a moment to how simple this is, not only to share, but to experience. That falling in love that Rick was talking about, it's what we do naturally when we're just present and we're just being. And if you have an experience of that, either here or in your everyday life, watching the sunset, and just for a moment having that wordless sense of awe at the beauty of life, that's it. So often we think something's got to happen from our intellect or from words, and I see more and more that that's nice. I like words. If you've hung out with me, you've heard me say a lot of words. I write words. I tell stories with words. But I'm just seeing that all that's just, it rests on top. It rests on top of that beautiful feeling that lives in presence, that lives right here where we always are. We're always resting in. And if you even have the glimmer or a smidgen of an awareness of that, you're in it. You got it. You're feeling it. That's it.
Yeah. And you know, there's something else, Rick, that you said that that touched me, because this community is not only about maybe people wanting to come here for support, but guess what? Everyone also comes with support for the other. So it's very circular. So I love when you said that I could feel your heart too, and saying you're here to support us. And that just felt very nice to me. So.
So there is space. Who else would like to share?
You want me to go?
Buffy, you know I do. I wanted to
Okay.
call on you, but I didn't want to. I was like, she's.
You can always call on me. Why I'm here today is kind of more specific than everybody else's seems sort of general. I was recently listening to a podcast by Mayim Bialik. She had Michael Singer on, who I had never heard of before, but in this circle, I imagine some of you have. And the things that they were talking about were so nebulous and foreign to me. It completely brought me to Stephanie. And I was like, oh, I would have to totally break this down with her because I don't get any of it. And so it just brought a little bit of a heightened awareness around what is Stephanie doing these days. And I know I always still see her emails and I love to interact and see her. So it brought me, I was like, and it's happening today. Just perfect timing that I just had seen this podcast that had her in the forefront of my mind. So that's what brought me here today. The Singer thing did not resonate with me at all. So shocking, right, Steph? But upon thinking about it more, initially I went to Idina Menzel and I was like, okay, that's kind of the gorgeous, versatile voice that I would love to hear come out of my own body, would never would. But then I was like, yeah, but what about the Doobie Brothers? Like, I can't go in that direction and not also that. And then there was another part of me that screamed, no, what about Alanis Morissette, who's just like screaming and has so much passion. And I feel like there's so many more that I could have put in there that I could never pick just one. Does that kind of answer your question at all?
It totally answers the question, Buffy. I'm so happy to see you. I'm so happy to see you here and hear all the things that question inspired in you. You know, here's a little hint, by the way. It's very likely that however you describe the voice of the singer you'd love to be, the traits, the attributes, that's you. That's what Tom was suggesting earlier, that, you know, if there's a desire in you to express, You got the resources for that. That's you. You're describing what's emerging from you. And what it looks like in the world, I don't know, but the spirit of that, it has to be you because you are inspired by it. And that inspiration happens in you, is recognized by you in other, yourself in other. So sneaky little question, right? There's so many layers.
Oh. All right. Hey, Claire.
Hello. So I'm here because I'm also fresh from the Three Principles Conference, which was, I don't know, there's no words really to describe it. But I've seen just in this last, I'm seeing just things fall away very rapidly in the last week or so. So I just want to be anywhere where we're hanging around in this conversation with people who are having this conversation. And the singer thing, like Buffy said, didn't really resonate with me at first. And then, do you know, it's my daughter who's a beautiful singer. If you look on my LinkedIn, you can see a video of her singing a few weeks ago. And I think it's because she sings with such personality and humor. She quite often gets cast, you know, she's at university now and she goes and does the musicals and stuff. She quite often gets cast as, well, they did Legally Blonde and she got cast as one of the major, excuse my French, bitches, and she played it so well because she's just so funny, and I see that in me, that how I share this is often from a place of there's always a lot of humor. There's a lot of humor in when I see it, there's a lot of laughing at myself. One of my big realizations happened when I heard Hannah Studley speak. I think it was on Monday. And she just said the words, I don't even know what the rest of what she said was at all. She just said the words, judging, monitoring, and supervising. And I proper burst into tears because I know that's probably why I burnt out, but it's also still there. And then on the way home, I noticed in the service station, a girl and a woman and a daughter got out of a car, and the man immediately started playing really loud music. And I was like, oh my God, how very dare you? I don't want to listen to your music. I started to laugh at myself because I'm still doing it, judging, monitoring, and supervising this random man in a service station that I've never met before. Then I went to the loo and came out of the service station, and he lit a fag in the car, guys. So you can imagine where I was there. That child's going to get back in that car. Doesn't he know that that's not good for that child to be sat in a... But what I found by the time I got back to the motorhome where Bruce was, I was wetting myself laughing because so it's all about, it's a lot about humor. It's often about me laughing at myself. There's often a lot of laughing when I coach people. There's the quiet times as well, but often humor's my way in. And so thinking about Sophie and how she's funny, and she always puts a lot of character and humor into her performances. So she sang Taylor the Latte Boy. I don't know if anybody knows that song. It's very funny, but she sang it with such go onto my LinkedIn and you can see Sophie singing it.
Oh, yes. And by the way, while you're there on Claire's LinkedIn, she's sharing amazing content pretty much constantly. So if you're into that kind of thing on LinkedIn, check it out.
Yeah.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Yeah. So I think, was it the only person we haven't heard from is Susan, and I don't know if Susan's available. Your camera's not on, but you're invited, and if not, just stay exactly as you are and we'll get it.
Yeah. Oh, there's Susan. Hey, Susan.
There. Hi. Hi. Well, I recently have met Tom and had some wonderful connection with him, and I, because of that, became aware of this offering. I just really wanted to, I guess, just show up and be part of this and conversation, and I'm still finding my way in this three principles experience, and trying to determine how I want to bring it to the world, share it in the world. And I felt like this would be a great space to explore that. So I appreciate you having this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you.
Oh, yeah, we're great to see you, Susan. And then I
Yeah,
can
and
hear
the
the
birds are saying hello. There's a nest up there with babies in it, so so thank you though.
Yeah, good to have you here.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Well, that was really beautiful. Thanks, everyone. It's just a nice feeling being here with everyone and hearing, you know, what you're experiencing and what you're wanting and what you might sing someday. So, well, the other question that we kind of, in the time we have left, that we thought about exploring a little bit, and we'll do as much as we can, is to just kind of ask, is there anything, so I guess I'll preface a little bit with where this question came up recently for me, when I was in a program with One Solution. Some of you may know the work they're doing in Chicago, and then they did a training, and it was really amazing. And at the very end, they asked us to think about what we might like to do, and then to also ask, is there something that, and I'll say it in different words, is there something that we feel like we need in terms of support? Maybe it's something general, maybe it's something specific. Or is there a feeling that maybe something could change or shift in us or in you that you can see right now, and kind of look at it from that angle, as we, because as we said, we're going to create this group together, and we barely planned this, because we had faith. Basically, I had faith that Stephanie would come up with it, that she had a question that I would never think of, so we have faith in that. But just anything that might be on your mind in the time remaining that speaks to that idea of, is there something I need? Is there something that needs to shift or could shift or might like to shift in us as we go on our journey?
So I'll just invite you for this one, if you want to just go ahead and unmute and
Yeah.
say it and speak it out, and we'll go through as many as we can in this time.
I would like to shift my perspective around creating a community. And I don't even know if it's really a community, but yes, it is. I would like to serve more than I am in various places. And I don't know actually exactly what you said, Tom, but I could just see that I have this idea of, I think it's just because I've been trained in so many, how to do business, how to do marketing, how to, do all that. And there's a part of it that actually quite fascinates me, and I believe can be very fun and enjoyable. And I just created a free resource that I'm trying to figure out the tech on to actually, put it out there. And there's a part of me, so I have this two things going on. There's a part of me that's so curious to see what happens. Like, what's going to happen? I don't know. And then it's like, oh, what if someone like wants it? And so and I'm trying to just really stay present with it. It's just like, just figure out why the white box won't leave the screen. Just figure out that first. So it's so like baby step by baby step. But it's like, okay, but it's still like I feel a block between me and humans in the way, and I feel like I keep putting blocks in. So, and I'm protecting, maybe it's clarity. You know, Mina just got on that stage, but it took her a while, like a long while, to just let it out. And I really do feel like I'm almost afraid of, I'm going to break the freaking stage. I'm just going to blow it up and I can never turn back. So there is a lot of fear in that. Being seen fully and completely. So, yeah.
Well, thank you, Michaela. You know, I want to say really quickly to that I have personally seen you open, you know, like that blossoming naturally and beautifully in your own perfect timing. So I think it's already happening. And yeah, what a beautiful invitation.
Thanks.
I will share that I'm really working to trust that my path forward and staying connected to all the things that are part of the three principles is to really do the things that light me up the most and share them very in a very real way. I don't like the word authentic because it got overused after a while, but just without fear. Maybe that's the way to put it. I appreciate Michaela for sharing sort of her perspective, but I want to trust that it's okay for me to show up quirky with some different ideas, with not a lot of polish, you know, all of these things, but that is actually my path forward. I want to keep trusting that. And I've had some small positive reinforcement of that idea, but it's that idea of stepping on the stage and bringing the house down. That's terrifying, you know? So I feel you on that. And I am sort of in the same way of trying to trust that it's okay.
Yeah. And you know, the maybe one of the benefits of this group is you can show up here as you are and feel comfortable, hopefully, and safe in doing that. And then, you know, see where that goes.
You know, I know that everyone here has experienced this because you are a beautiful human. But whenever you're just here, now, present, there's no stage, there's no you, there's no audience. There's just whatever experience, whatever song is emerging from you in that moment. That's available. That's something that I'd love to see us experiment with and experience here, so that you also know more that that's available anywhere, any place, anytime. And also it's okay when that doesn't happen. It's not supposed to happen all the time. It doesn't need to. but it is available.
Mhm. Mhm.
Question was, what do we want to shift? Or what do we want support from?
Yeah, yeah, whatever
Um,
that means for you.
I just, all I can think of is everything. I don't know what else to say. It's like everything.
Give me everything. I want it all.
I want it all. I want to shift everything that's not working.
Nice.
Yeah, that's it.
That's great.
Oh, that's it. I love that.
Well, this is the place for that. Mm. There's so much energy in that expression. Like, that just totally uplifted me.
What else?
For me, it's I have it almost seems like I have these weekly theme things going on. Like there'll be a theme happening. I just notice this one that's in particular is almost a little bit with Caroline, what she was sharing. It's about storytelling and creating stories. And it came from a line I read in a book recently. It was a letter between two people that were, and the line from the letter was, "I just love the story that I'm creating about you." And for me, I take things like that kind of resonate and try and explore more. And this is what I like to use these kind of platforms and sharing, is exploring those ideas around creating stories that I feel like I'm constantly creating stories about everything. Some of them are good and have good feelings, and some of them are yucky and don't feel like great stories, but they're still my stories. And when I heard that line, I just love the story that I created of you. I just immediately fell in love again with my wife.
Mm.
Because when relationships are all about that, creating those stories, right? It's not what she's doing. Because I caught myself like there was a particular action that would normally trigger me in a certain direction, and it's going like that was a story I wrote. And it doesn't have to end or be read that way ever again.
Mm.
So I love the fresh and new exploration of creating new stories, and having the opportunity to do that. So I just love the playground here. So that's opening that up.
And if people didn't realize up till now, this is a playground. Everything Stephanie does is a playground.
Life is a playground, man. It's not just
true.
that Stephanie does.
I know.
What do you think, Tom? Shall we kind of,
Yeah.
yeah,
First, just thank you everyone for this. It's been really delicious. And I guess I'll just say again, this community is something that even though Steph and I are facilitating, it's really something that gets created by everyone. So it can be anything. And that's several of you talked about the feeling of possibility and curiosity. So That's something I'm really feeling. So,
Yeah, I am. Thank you. Thank you for showing up and sharing. Everything that you've said is already co-creating. We're already co-creating. This is already happening. You're already a part of it. Now, whether this is the only time your presence is here or you come back every time or somewhere in between, your intentions, your presence has contributed. So thank you so much. And we're going to take this and see what moves in us. We will continue this every fourth Tuesday, right? That
well,
doesn't.
last Tuesday, that's where it might get a little confusing because sometimes,
It's last Tuesday. I may need to change something in
yeah,
this.
because sometimes like this month, there are actually or no, some months there are 5 Tuesdays, a few
So
times
you
a
want to
year.
go last Tuesday? Oh, you're messing with my mojo, Tom.
I know.
No,
Well, I have to throw you some curves, so.
I guess so. So we will continue with this on the last Tuesdays. You're invited to come back. I'm going to put in the chat right now. There is a Mighty Networks community. It's the Wildspire community, which is evolving and emerging in new creation right now. You're welcome to join as a free member there. You can RSVP to this event, the Love in Action, Sharing the Principles. You can see other events that are happening. Tom and I are sharing content there, videos of things we've seen. As I mentioned, the exploration that we're having in particular, we usually have a monthly theme, is the voice of your heart's desire. So we will be exploring, you know, what that means. What is desire? What is your voice? What is it that wants to be expressed through you? And I think it's a perfect exploration in the context of whatever it is you'd like to share, whether it be the principles or you'd like to learn more about it. So you're welcome to join us there, RSVP to the events, introduce yourself, get to know everyone. And this is a growing community. So if you know someone who you think would love to be there and join us there, please invite them as well. And I'll speak a little bit to the Play Circle membership because it was mentioned. You can find out more about that there through the community as well. It's a place where creators come to play. So, you know, there's the message we want to share, and then there are the things in the world that we'd like to create with lightheartedness, with curiosity, exploration, and delight. So, yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So feel free to also reach out to us if there's anything that comes to mind afterward. You can
Yeah.
message myself or Tom. Tom is, if you know him, incredibly open for conversation. I am too, but I think you you take it to a whole other level, Tom.
Okay. Yeah, and please, this specific group too, if you, for all you who know people in the principles world, feel free to share this with them.
Yeah, please do. Thank you so much for coming today, everyone.
Good to see everybody. Thanks. Thank you,
Thanks.
Stephanie.
Thank you.
Brilliant.